If you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. All right, good job. So now that we're done reviewing our spelling words for the week, I want to go over some reading, okay? Who remember some of our reading strategies that we've gone over these past few weeks? Yes? What's one of our first reading strategies? Yeah, remember what that means? What does that mean? We highlight the important details, right? So as we're reading, we can't forget we should highlight the important details, because these important details might be answering our questions later on. All right? What's another reading strategy that we should try and do? Do you know? So for reading, one of the other strategies we can use is to take notes. Take notes of words that we do not know, and maybe sometimes there may be phrases, so a group of words that we do not know. Okay, and then we can go back later and look in the dictionary, ask an Albo partner, maybe even check on our iPads what a word may mean, and that will give us a better understanding of what we're reading. Okay? So before we continue on to our reading, I want to make sure that everyone understands what our questions are. Okay? So our first question is, what is the main character? Okay? So who is the main character? Sorry. 2, what is the conflict? Okay, what is the conflict in this story? And 3, what is our solution? What can our solution to this problem be? Okay? So, who can help me figure out what it means to be a main character? What is a main character? Do you know? What is a main character? A main character of the story. Who is the main character of the story? So let's say in The Lion King, who is the main character of that movie? Who's the main character? So who is the most important person in that movie? Or animal? Who is the movie about?
The Lion King?
Yeah, The Lion King, whose name is Simba, right? Right. So that's how we know who the main character is. The movie is about Simba, right? So let's keep using that as an example. Let's see. Number 2. What's our second question? Yes. What is the problem in this story? Or in this case, in this movie. In The Lion King, what? Bless you. What is the movie? What is the problem? Okay? What is the conflict? So what can the conflict be in The Lion King? What was the problem? Bless you. So what is the conflict in this movie? What was the problem? What was the main character's problem? Who was the main character? Good. So Simba, what was his problem? What was he going through? What was happening in the story, in the movie?
The bad was fighting with people.
Yes. Yes. So the bad guy, who was his uncle, right, told him to leave and not to take care of his family, right? So that was his problem. He thought it was his fault that his dad died, right? Okay. So that brings us to our third question.
Because he's evil.
He used it. Okay, make sure we're raising our hands to speak. Okay, thank you. Number 3. What is the solution? What does Simba, the main character, do to solve his problem. His problem of,
Is to fight with.
excuse me? Yes.
Is that he needs to fight because the bad guy, his uncle, is bad, so he needs to fight.
Yeah. So does he do that? Does he come back to fight? Yes, he does. He does come back to fight, right? Okay, good job. So now we know what our first question is. Who is the main character?
Simba.
What was his problem? What was his conflict? He had to fight the bad guy. He had to run away, right? He ran away because he was scared. Okay? But then he got courage and confidence to come back and fight the bad guy. And what ends up happening?
Then he's gonna be the king.
And then he becomes king, how he was supposed to be from the beginning, right? That's awesome.
And
Okay.
then the bad guy already fight. The bad guy is already scared because the cheetahs are gonna fight with him.
Yes, he was scared because he wasn't a very good king, right? So now we're gonna have to use these questions to answer the story we're gonna read next, okay? So here's a list of the questions and the story that we'll be reading with our partner. Okay, so we're gonna take turns with our partner. We're gonna have our partner read first, okay, and then we can read ourselves. All right, and then make sure we're using our strategies as we read. What's our first strategy? Highlight, right? Highlight important details. Our second strategy is to write down words, right? So make sure we're doing that as our partner is reading, okay? And then we can even ask each other and look at each other's notes and compare, okay? Because maybe he knows something that you wrote down and she might know something that he wrote down, right? Okay? So we'll take turns comparing, all right? So let's get started and start reading, okay? All right, so it's been a couple of minutes now. With a show of fingers, either five, no, five's too much. You guys have had plenty of time to read. So let's say 3, 2, 1 fingers. How many more minutes do you guys need to finish reading? Do you need 3 more minutes, 2 more minutes, 1 more minute, 1 more minute? Okay, so I'll give you guys 1 more minute and then we'll come back together and we'll go over the answers together, okay? That's really nice note-taking there. Those are some really good highlighted sections. Good job. All right, so if you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. Good job. Thank you. So I was walking around and I saw a lot of you guys really paying attention to your partner as they read. You guys did really great. Okay, so now I want to make sure that we all go into recess remembering exactly what our 2 strategies that we're using are and what our 3 questions mean. Okay, so what's our first strategy when we're reading? What is it? To highlight. Good job. We need to highlight important details. Okay, because I saw a lot of you guys highlighting and you saw that those were answers to your questions, right? Okay, so number 2, our second strategy is to write down words. Good job. We need to write down words, right? So the 3 questions we had: who is the main character? Let me give you another example. What about in the movie Frozen? Who is the main character? Who is the movie about? Olaf? Olaf is one of the main characters. That's really good. Sometimes we'll have more than one main character. What about the sisters? What are their names? Elsa and Anna? Good job. And what was their conflict? What was their problem?
They didn't want to be
she had new powers, right? And she didn't know how to control them, so she was a little afraid. Okay? So then, what was the solution to the movie? What happened? What fixed everything?
Olaf.
Olaf was a helper to the movie, huh? He gave them confidence to be who they were, right? So Elsa came back, and Anna and Elsa, they worked it out, and they saved the town, right?
And then,
Okay. All right. So, yes.
did it play?
All right. Let's ignore distractions right now. Thank you. Okay. So you guys did an awesome job with this, and we're gonna have the same questions for homework, but with a different story. Okay. And this is just practice. So I want you guys to come back, and we're gonna talk about it again. What was the problem? Who was the main character? And what was the solution? What did they do to fix it? Okay, so I'm gonna look for the quietest groups to line up for recess. All right.